Go. All right, so lessons from Instagram, right? Here's some Dharma from Instagram. This morning I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram, but I follow my nieces and nephews and some other things. And anyway, this thing came into my feed about a man who was dancing at a music festival all by himself. So, everybody's sitting in a field, it's a beautiful day. And there's this one guy in this open space, and he's just, filled with joy and just dancing, dancing, dancing. Maggie's shaking her head. Maybe she saw this. So, and then all of a sudden, more people come and join him, and more people come and join him, and more people come and join him. And there's this joy that you could even feel just through the video erupting of spreading joy and spreading of good vibes, right? And so how many times have you been the person that, wants to express a joy in some way, but you felt constrained or restrained by, what's proper or what your peers are doing or what we think we should be doing, or we're afraid to be the one to stand out. And I think this can transition to a lot of really important lessons, of our willingness to stand up for not only what brings us joy, but for whatever we believe in. To be the one to voice a concern or to say something, when you see something, um, or to just be the person that acknowledges and recognizes something. Maybe it's making eye contact with a homeless person when you're driving your car. It can be the smallest of gestures where we can support each other's expansiveness, and we can support the sense of community building and this rising energy within us. So as you close your eyes and find a comfortable seat to sit up straight and tall in, think about ways in which your energy can be magnetized, it can be magnetic to other people, where you can spread something really positive just by your actions or your words or even your thoughts. So as you close your eyes, recognize that our energy matters, and where we direct our energy to can attract and expand whatever it is that we are trying to cultivate. So as you sit comfortably, as you ground yourself, um, very specifically around the feeling of joy. It's a scarce commodity at times, joy is. So what brings you joy right now? What has brought you joy in the last couple of days? Is there anything today that has brought you some joy? And how can you kind of expand this energy within you and let it replicate and expand outward so that maybe others can catch your vibe, catch your wave, and grow in that space with you? We all know what it's like to be around an infectious person that is infecting others with their hope or their generosity or their joy or their love. Okay, so can we be this for ourselves and others? As you sit and your eyes start to surrender, see if your posture can lend itself to the open heart. So kind of fix your spine up where you feel a sense of peace in your body, but also a sense of openness in your body. And then bring yourself into a full inhale and a full exhale. What if you opened your body eyes, not just your eyes in your head, but the eyes in your body to look for joy, to notice the places in your day today where you might um, catch that little bit of joy wave. We have to be open to it. So see what it feels like to let your body open, your energy open to looking for and welcoming in some of these positive energies. And it starts with a posture that's open and available, receptive. All right, when you're ready, bring your hands together at your heart and see if your hands can, or your heart can lift toward your hands just a bit. Not enough to press the back body in, but just enough to stay open. And bow your head and surrender into that open heart. Offer an intention here. And then release your hands. All right, let's find our way onto our back. All right, so as you stretch out and lengthen your body, and take a moment to notice the simple joy of stretching. I don't know about you, but simple stretching creates a spontaneous element of joy in my body. I hope it does for you too. So whatever feels good, let's open up through our sides, maybe lengthening one side and then lengthening the other, moving your hips, moving your shoulders. Maybe even while you're stretching out here, wiggling your fingers and your toes and know how long you are, kind of enjoy the length of your body. Okay. And then when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Relax through your skull. And maybe rocking brings you a little bit of joy sparkle in your body, okay? Or at the very least, a little ease. And let's circle the knees, kind of rolling one direction and rolling the other way. And then we'll open up our knees away from the middle and just feel that nice feeling of rotation and movement in our hip joints. Maybe all that deep work we did in the pelvis yesterday, where we kind of held some good long stretches, is having an impact on your hips today. Just notice that. And then draw your right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground, and let's wiggle around in our toes, roll through your ankles, and mobilize your feet. Enjoy. Enjoy just the simple feeling of bare feet. Okay. All right, a nice good squeeze of the knee in, and then let's cross the knee over to the left, stretch open through your chest and enjoy a little bit of a twist here. Maybe your arm wants to move, maybe your arm wants to be still, maybe your head turns, maybe it doesn't. Just kind of find the exploration of this beginning twist. Let your breath fill and empty. And then draw your knee back and pick up your head, a squeeze into that knee, head down, switch sides, left knee in, right leg long, and feel your feet again. Simple toe wiggling can be very joyous. Think about what it feels like when you've had way too tight of shoes on, or high heels on, or ski boots on, or something terrible that doesn't make you feel good, and then you take them off and your feet have some freedom and the joy of your feet. Let's kind of reminisce in our sensations now about that kind of feeling in your feet. And then twist open. When you're ready, stretch through your body. A big breath in, big breath out, and enjoy. Maybe you're moving around a little bit. Maybe you're liking stillness. Just kind of sense what feels good. Even if your body's very still, move the breath. And then we'll bring that knee back and pick up your head, a little snug hug, and then stretch out to a star on the ground. Open your body wide. Let's roll our wrists and our fingers and our ankles and our toes and find a big breath in. And as you exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Pick up your head. Okay. Again, stretching open, broad and big. And then exhale, knees into your chest. Relax your back. Put your head down, grab onto your feet. Happy baby, let your back open up here a little bit. Maybe a bit of rocking, maybe stillness. Your choices always. You can hold the backs of the knees if the feet are too far away. And see if you can just let your back feel the opening of your practice. All right, and then one more time, stretching limbs wide. Let's wiggle our fingers and our toes. Exhale, draw your knees in, roll to the side and come up to your hands and your knees. As you find your way onto all fours, see what it feels like to just enjoy the moving of your spine through some cat-cows. So try to pay attention to the simple movements of the body and how good they feel. And even if you come across places that are tender and tight and maybe a little painful through your practice, sometimes we can observe how things loosen and change as we're practicing. And the joy of that, the joy of freeing ourselves through our practice. How's your breath? And then wag the tail or any kind of movement in your pelvis that feels good. Maybe you're circling, maybe you're swishing or swaying. All right, and then we'll settle back to a child's pose and walk the hands far out in front of you. Find your breath. Drop some weight down into your hips. And then we'll walk our hands over to one side, feeling a reaching through the side body. Relax the skull. A big breath in, full breath out. And then back to the other side, feeling some reaching and lengthening in your body. Full breaths here. And then coming back to center, up onto your hands and your knees. Let's find a twist. Reaching the arm up, look up, roll your wrist a little bit, open and close your fist. And then we'll find our twist, dropping the shoulder down, enjoy. Rest your head. Find something that's free in the body, something that's mobilizing in the body. Maybe it's just the feeling of your breathing. And then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground and we'll switch sides, arm up. Give a little wrist roll, give a little open and close of your fist. And then exhale and drop that shoulder down, twisting to this side. Maybe you're still, maybe you're rocking forward and back a little bit. Whatever you're doing, we're breathing. And being very mindful that our neck is not taking strain in this posture. And then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Before we come into a dog pose, come into a puppy pose. Drop your chest down. Maybe your forehead touches the ground. The hips stay high, opening up the thoracic spine a little bit. All right, and then relax that. Take your blocks, put them underneath your elbows, one block for each elbow, and kind of keep the hips high for a moment. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Drop your thumbs toward your spine and stretch through your triceps. And then lengthen your ribs away from your elbows and drop your hips back. They may come close to your heels or they may stay high. Just kind of feel your way into this upper body stretch. Fill and empty your breath. It not only stretches your triceps, but your lats as well. So enjoy opening up that part of your body. And then release your hands away from that. Come onto your shins. Up you go. Give your hands a little shake up there if you'd like. And then exhale, come back. Hands onto the ground, curl the toes under, lift to a dog pose. Take a little time to find your legs here, pedaling your feet, dropping one heel, opening up the calf and the Achilles, and then moving to the other side. And do this pedaling fast or slow, whatever feels good. Enjoy opening the soles of the feet, spread your toes wide, get some space. Again, finding that joy of no shoes on, bare feet, bare hands, bare feet, making contact, grounding. Feel the fullness of your breath, both on the in-breath and the out-breath. And then walk your feet forward, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax your spine, bobble your head maybe. Bend your knees as much as you want or need. And grab onto the base of the skull and just have a little traction to lengthen those muscles along your spine. Relax your hands, come to a halfway lift, opening up the full back body here. Let's put our hands on blocks so we can take a little time to pedal our feet, moving through our hips, dropping one hip back as you bend the other knee, other hip back as you bend the other knee, just kind of pedaling back and forth. And feel free to pedal through your feet where toes on one side lift, heel on the other side lifts. So you just kind of mobilizing and waking up some of the nerve pathways as well as the muscles and joints. All right, and then fold forward. Relax your head again. When you're ready, push through your feet, rising up. Of course, take some time to settle toward the midline. If your blood pressure drops a little low, you can always squeeze. Inhale, reaching the arms up, open that heart. So kind of create the space in your body for joy. Even if you don't feel joy, create the space for it. Allow it to have an opportunity to come to you. Let's cactus, open the chest, spread your wings, squeeze the back of your body a little bit, and then reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers, stretch upward. Maybe take your feet just a smidge further apart from each other. Lengthen and reach over to one side, either side. Ground through your legs. And then come on up, interlace your fingers the other way, and stretch over to the other side. And coming back up, let's cactus the arms one more time, squeeze that back body, and then relax. Give your hands a little bit of a shaking. Shrug your shoulders up and maybe do some big shoulder rolls so we just get that feeling of our neck loosening up a little bit. All right, and then pause in Tadasana here and just notice yourself. Notice the grounding through your feet. Notice your sense of yielding into the earth. Notice if any joints are locked out or if you tend to lean into one side. See if you can balance yourself well. Pay attention to your breath. Inhale, lift the arms up again. And then we'll exhale and float forward. A halfway lift, opening through your heart. Exhale and release again. Step back to a dog pose, long spine, breathe deep. A full inhale, full exhale. Notice your feet again. And then we'll come forward into a plank. Shoulders down, away from the ears, press the earth away. When you feel ready, find the ground. Take a deep breath, open to a cobra. Enjoy that front body stretch. Exhale, coming back down. One more time. Coming on up. Exhale, releasing back down. Roll over onto your left side and grab onto your right foot and just open up your quad. Finding that quad stretch here, keeping your knee in line with your hip. So just getting the front body to lengthen a little bit here. Stabilizing through the pelvis. And then come back and bring your knee right into your chest and round a little bit. And then come back onto your belly, arms wide. Inhale to a wide-armed cobra pose, hands out there in space. Exhale, release to come back down, and we'll move over onto our right side. Grab your left ankle and stretch your quad. Heel towards your buttocks. Your right leg can be bent so you're nice and solid on the ground. We're not having to balance too much. Try to let your left knee stay in line with your hip instead of lifting it toward the sky. Stretch your femur bone, get it long. And then draw that knee into the chest, round the spine a little bit. Come back onto your belly, come up onto all fours, and move your spine around. Curl the toes under and lift to a dog pose. And as you come to these dog poses again and again, notice what's shifting. Let's bring our right foot forward, come to a lunge. Hands on blocks. Find your way. So let your ankle be right underneath your knee. And then we'll start to bend and straighten the front leg, just feeling your way into that openness of your hips and hamstrings and hip flexors. Feel your way into your breath. Okay. Ground yourself here, root down. Inhale, rise up, bring the arms to the sky. See what it feels like to have that extension and openness in the heart. Maybe look up. See what it feels like to challenge your balance a little bit in this posture. Ground yourself. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open up across your chest. Check in with your core. Make sure your low back is not compressed. Lift up through your heart space. Lean forward. Keep those hands interlaced. Heads of the arm bones lifting. Ground through both legs. And then we'll release the hands down. Back foot comes forward and fold. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Melt again. Step your right foot back, left foot's in front. Come into that full lunge. Ground yourself here. Open through your chest. When you're ready, you can start to move. We'll open up the hamstrings, open up the hip flexors, open up the breath as you mobilize. We're coming back and forth between bending the front knee and straightening it. Don't worry if you don't go all the way straight. See if you can protect your spine from over rounding. Feel long. How's your breath? All right, and when you feel ready, ground your feet, root down, inhale, rise up, arms coming upward, lift the heart. Expand your arms out or up, however, you can even have your hands on your hips. So wherever you feel best in your body, root down to rise. See if you can keep the heart lifting without compressing the back of your body. And then interlace your hands the weird way behind your back. Open up your chest, pull your shoulders back, stretch through the front of your shoulders. Lift up through your spine instead of compressing in your low back. Press into the feet. Right, and then come forward with those arms behind you. Stay stretching through your shoulders. Press into your legs, your feet, and then we'll release our hands down. Walk your back foot forward. Come to Uttanasana. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Take a little time now, rock up onto your toes. Keep your hands on the blocks so you have good balance. We're just stretching our feet. And then heels down and lift the toes up. And then put your feet down and lift the outer feet up a little bit. Might make you knock knee. And then inner feet lifting up. Feeling that stretch across the outer ankles. And then spread the bones of your feet well. Drop into a chair pose. Maybe you want to put your hands on your thighs and ground yourself. Maybe hands to your heart, maybe hands up. Okay, so you find your path. Put some weight into your feet. Drop in. Breathing deeply, breathing fully, getting your legs to turn on. Notice if your core is turned off. Turn it back on. The pelvic floor is helping. Imagine a block between your legs. And then we'll come up onto our tippy toes. Lift the heart. Start to lift your gaze. See if your balance can stay here. You can always bring your arms wider. And just tip your head up, up, up. And then put your heels back down and ground yourself. Pause here again. Notice how your body is loosening and warming. You're becoming more embodied. Okay, we'll take our sideways turn onto your mat, so wide legs, turn to the side edge. Let's drop into a deep squat just to open up those legs in this way and feel your feet again. Broad base, all four corners of your feet are grounding down. Open up through your hips. Let your elbows press your inner thigh, your inner knees, so you can open up those inner thighs. And then come all the way back up to stand. Standing start. A deep breath in. And let's just start to invite some strength into our legs. Dropping into a goddess pose and back up. And moving with your breath as we just kind of dance a little in this sequence of finding strength and then a release. When you come down into your goddesses, open up your knees. Try to track those knees in line with the middle toes as best as you can. So we're really working with the outer hip muscles, strengthening and opening. And notice if you tend to lean into one side, do you have a knee or an ankle or a hip that doesn't like to wait there? And then the next time we get down there, we'll stay for a few breaths. Let's just find goddess pose. Open up your knees. Track into the four corners of your feet. Don't worry about how low you go. We go as low as you want, but it's more important that we're not caving our knees in. So open up. To descend the tail, lift the heart. Find the full breath. And then slowly stand on up. And we'll turn our right foot out. Find your way into Virabhadrasana 2. Feel free to, mobilize a little bit if you like to ebb and flow. You can do that. And then after a couple of passes, find your way into the posture. And again, you can be higher. You don't have to be super deep in this pose. More important to track your front knee in line with your middle toes and not go past your ankle. Find your breath. Gaze out over your fingers. The chest lifts, the heart stays open. From this pose, we'll reverse. Open that side body and then come into a Parsva Konasana. And let the hip and the whole side of your body open up here. Still tracking your right knee in line with the middle toes. So we're staying open and active in that hip. So I know you've heard me talk about spinning the jar lids. So with your right foot, drag your toes to the right and drag your heel to the left. Nothing's going to move, but isometrically do that to turn on the muscles of the outer hips. And then we'll come on up and stand. Standing star for a moment. Just let your body kind of equalize with the effort and directionality of your hips. And then we'll turn and do the same poses on the second side. As we come, if you want to, do some movement, do some movement. If you like kind of bending and coming out a couple times, that's fine. And then eventually find your way into full Virabhadrasana. Gaze out over your fingers. Keep the joyous open heart. Try not to let your knee cave in toward the big toe side of your foot. Open up your knee, track it, look at it, track it in line with the middle toes. And where's the work of this coming from? Spin the foot, so toes drag left, heel drags right, and pull from your outer knee to your outer hip. Stabilize with that back leg. When you're ready, we'll reverse the warrior, lengthening through that side. And then come into a Parsva Konasana here. Same thing with the foot. Isometrics. See if you can drag toes left, drag heel right. Open up through that hip. Stay connected to the back leg. Root down so you feel that extension through the whole side of your body. All right. And then come back to neutral. Heel toe your feet in or walk your feet back in to neutral. Give your legs a little ziggle and just see what it feels like to let go and let things return back to neutral in your hip joints. Find your breath in. Find your breath out. Let's come into a chair. Again, this time your feet can be apart, but maybe not so wide apart because we're going to lift one foot up. Okay, so come into your chair. Keep your hands down at your heart or out to your sides or on your hips instead of up in the air. Bear weight into the right and let's hover and lift the left foot up. Core is engaged, pelvic floor is engaged, your whole leg unit. So your quad, your hamstring, your glutes. Everything's supporting. And then we'll slowly lift up to stand, lift the knee with you. And then we'll place that foot down onto the ground. Back to a chair. And we'll bear some weight into our left leg over. So you bring that knee up a little bit. So the right foot is close enough where you could tap it down if you need. Core, pelvic floor. Try not to just rely on your leg to do the work of this pose. Breathing. Notice your balance. Spread your toes, both feet. And then we'll lift up to stand. Bring the knee with you. You can lift your arms if you'd like. And then place that foot down onto the ground. Enjoy your two legs again. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, floating forward. A halfway lift, expand. And release. Step back to a dog and enjoy your legs being in symmetry. Ground yourself. Open up your feet, spread your toes. Come forward into a plank. And we'll lower down to the ground. Back bend of your choice. Exhale and relax. Bring your left knee up high toward your armpit. Don't do the twist yet that we often do in this pose. Just take a moment to let the hip kind of compress in this position. All right, and then we'll find the twist. Take your right arm underneath you, roll open, enjoy opening the chest. Head is heavy. Enjoy the break from the standing poses. We're going to go back up to stand in a moment. So just enjoy the ground. And then we'll come out of there and come back to the belly and bring your right knee up and just pause in this deep hip stretch here. So you're getting a lot of flexibility in the hip joint when we do this. How's the breath? All right, and then when you're ready, we'll find the twist. So left arm crosses underneath you and roll open. A breath here. Inhale, exhale, melt the head. And then we'll roll back onto our belly. Come up on all fours. Move around in your spine. Just release that pose and then find child's. Grab a blanket or a block or whatever you support yourself for pigeon pose. Okay, so right leg comes forward. Let's find our way here. Of course, you can do reverse pigeon if your body doesn't do pigeon pose well. Extend, lift the heart. So even though the hips are doing a lot of the manpower of opening and strengthening here, let's see if we can just stay open in the heart space. Stay open in the breath. And then find your way into a full pigeon pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Melting something, relaxing through your skull. And when your head is supported by a block, your jaw can let go, the muscles in your face can let go. Come back up. Not going to stay a super long time here today. This is to prepare us for a standing posture we're about to do. So let's go ahead and find the second side and pay attention to how your two sides feel differently, regardless of whether you're doing reverse pigeon or pigeon. Pay attention to how your hips feel. You know, do you have a sense of more stability on one side, more openness on one side? Do you have any pain or restriction? You know, what's happening? Keep that heart open, and then when you're ready, we'll come down to rest your head on a block. Try to enjoy. So, you know, looking for the simple joys. Sometimes deep stretches don't necessarily feel like exuberantly joyful, but you know, there can be kind of like good pain involved there. But certainly they help our bodies have the capacity for freedom and therefore joy. So even if the pose is challenging to you, let's be joyful for what it does for us, for the mobility that it creates within us. Breathe well. Imagine if you never stretched. Imagine if you never did yoga. Imagine if you didn't move your body very much. How do you think your body would feel? So let's just enjoy all this freedom. Okay, we'll come out of there. And let's find a dog pose if that feels good to you. Otherwise, transition in a different way, whatever feels right to your body. Take a little time to maybe pedal your feet or move your hips. And then we'll walk our feet forward, come to Uttanasana. Push through the feet, Rise up, arms coming to the sky. And then we'll trace down through the center. Feel the ground below your feet. And if you feel achy in your hips all right now, do something, shake them out. You can shake one leg at a time. You can shake your hips. You can bounce, just kind of get some ease to come back into your pelvis. We're going to do two balance poses. We're going to do tree pose, and then we're going to do figure four balance pose. So remember, you can still have your toes touching the ground. Okay, so there's lots of ways to support your balance. For today, focus on what this knee is doing. See if we can open up the knee. Just like when we were doing those standing poses and you were tracking the knee open, find that same action here. So that could mean staying lower. It could mean going higher. It could mean holding a wall or a piece of furniture. So you kind of find the posture, the way to do the posture for you today. All right, so we're standing on our right hip. Try not to sink into the right hip. Hug it in, lift the heart. Open up, track that left knee. Can you use those muscles to help you track? Maybe the arms lift up, maybe they're out, maybe you keep your hands close on your hips or to your heart, maybe your gaze softens. Find your drishti. All right, and then we'll put that foot down. And again, you can wiggle, you can shake your legs, or you can just be still. So however you like to transition to the second side. With standing on your left leg for most people is a little bit more challenging if you're right-handed. So just notice if this side's a little, if you have just a little bit more challenge ahead of you balance-wise. And of course, the wall or a piece of furniture is always there. Try not to slouch and sink into that hip. Hug it in, unlock your standing knee, and lift through your spine. Track open your right knee. Pull it back without letting your hip turn. So we don't want our torso to turn with that knee. For our standing leg stabilizes the upward and forward facing nature of our body. The only thing turning is the hip and the knee of that right leg. Take any variation with the arms. Make sure you're moving through your breath. Relax through the base of your skull, soften your gaze, focus on something that doesn't move. Relax your shoulders, notice your foot on the ground. And then we'll come back and put that foot down. And again, shake your legs if you want, do some wiggles. Maybe you want to bounce, you can even jump. Just kind of find what works so that you feel at ease and kind of leaving that last pose behind, letting the tide take it away. All right, so figure four, you can put your back buttocks against a wall or a piece of furniture to help with your balance. We'll stand on our right knee, and hopefully, all the work that we've done thus far is really helping you to be open for this posture. When you come down like a chair, our foot is on our knee, lift your heart, so try not to collapse. Now, of course, if you feel like going lower and bringing your forearms down, or maybe even bringing your hands down, or maybe even moving toward a arm balance, try to do all of those progressions with an open heart. Or stay right here and reach the arms, or arms wide, or arms at your heart, but your heart is lifting. Draw your knee back into your hips, balance your pelvis, widen your sit bones. The foot in the air is flexed and active. The foot on the ground is spread and feeling the four corners. Notice your breathing. Okay, and then we'll come out of that pose, lift your knee, lift your arms, and bring your foot down onto the ground. And one more time, feel any movement that's going to just bring you back home to both legs again. So this pose, it's hard to have your hip rotate open like this. But so there's a lot to this. There's a lot to the hips. There's a lot to the balance. So just see how you progress. If you want to go deeper into the pose, by all means, go deeper. Um, Remember that we're not turning our body. We're not sticking our hip out. We're keeping neutral through the pelvis. As you do this second side with the right foot on the left knee, notice how this side might feel different from the other. Maybe the pathways of your arms come up or out, or hands to your hips, or hands to your heart. Maybe you lengthen your spine forward as you bend a little deeper. So just see what your pose is wanting to do today. Square your hips, active through your feet, finding your breath. Soften your gaze. Soften your shoulders. Remember that your core and your pelvic floor is a part of this pose so that it can help you. Your glutes, your inner thighs, your hamstrings. There's a lot of work going on. And then we'll lift that knee up, standing on one leg, and put your foot down onto the ground. And one more time, last time, wiggle your body, shake your legs, jump, bounce, just finding that sense of letting the poses go. And standing on 2 feet, enjoy the simple fact that you have 2 legs to stand on, 2 feet to stand on. Notice your feet. Enjoy the ease of balance. Unlock your knees. Breathing fully. Inhale, lift the heart, open heart. Exhale, float forward. Open up through your back and through your glutes and your hamstrings. A halfway lift, lengthening through the backs of your legs. Exhale to melt. Step back to a dog pose, feeling some length again in your body. Ground, yield. And then we'll come down to a child's pose. Take your knees close or wide, whatever feels good for your body. Resting your legs, giving thanks for your legs. All right. And then come to sit on the edge of a blanket and make sure you have 2 blocks. As we find Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Okay. Hands behind you. Drop your knees. So we've done so much work to prepare for this. Let's just feel those knees drop down toward the ground, lifting the heart. Use the hands as kickstands so the heart can expand, the heads of the arm bones draw back. And then release. Take a block and stick it between your feet. So the block's at the middle width or narrow width, or so choose one or the other. I have the mid width between my feet, but your choice. It's a little harder to hold yourself upright. Hands behind you. Drop your knees. See if you can open up the bottom of your feet. Pull your big toe and inner heel away from the block. Try not to let the block slide forward. Keep it close to the pubic bone. Drop your knees. And then we'll release. Put your feet on top of the block. Hold on to your feet now if you'd like, so that you have a little bit more capacity to keep your feet close to you instead of letting them slide. Lift your chest. See if you can get the armpit chest to kind of climb out from under the arms a little bit. Spread across your collarbones. Nice stretch across your shoulders. Drop your knees. And then we'll release that. Turn the block in front of you so that it's long ways in front of you on the flat side. So that it's on the low side, but it's perpendicular to your mat. And then we'll take the second block and put it on its skinny side between your feet. So you have a little edge for your feet. And remember, we're trying to keep the blocks close to the pubic bone. Hold your feet. Now we get the challenge of our back, right? So your back's going to want to start rounding. So lift your chest. If you can keep your feet there, you can take your hands behind you, which is easier on your spine. Okay? Drop your knees, open up the soles of your feet, the big toe side, inner heel side, lengthening, lifting away from the block. Drop your knees. Right, and then release that, and now we have two blocks stacked on top of each other. Keep them close to your pubic bone. Put your feet on top of the blocks. Either hold your feet or hands behind your back to help you lift up. Okay, it's too bad you don't have 4 sets of hands. That would be helpful right now. Drop your knees. I like holding my feet because it just kind of forces my pelvis to stay neutral instead of rolling back. But if it's too hard on your back, put your hands behind you. How's the breath? Drop your knees. All right, now we'll take away all the blocks. Take the soles of your feet together, hands behind you. We're still on the lip of that block. Hands behind you. Stay on the center of your pelvis. Drop your knees. And notice the difference of how much more range you just got in your hip joint in this external rotation by doing that work. Descend the knees. Open the soles of the feet. Lift your spine. If it's comfy for you, take your hands to your feet and lengthen your spine and then bow your head. Check in with your back and make sure this feels good. All right, and then we'll come back up. Hold your knees with your hands and bring your knees in and just give yourself a hug with your knees close in. Okay. Move your props out of the way. Come onto your back. Bring your knees in, a little bit of rocking. All right, put your feet on the ground. Feet are a little wider than your hips. And drop your right knee toward your left foot. And we'll pick up our left foot and put it on the outside of your knee and wedge a block in there somewhere under your leg to support. I have the block wedged under my left outer thigh. Maybe you put it underneath the inner right leg or right knee. So just kind of find wherever is supportive so that you're not going too deep. But just feel that counterbalance of some internal rotation of that femur bone in the twist. And then bring your legs up. Switching sides. Feet are a little wider than your hips. Drop your knees over to the right. Pick up your right foot and put it on the outside of your left knee so that you're drawing that left femur bone into some internal rotation. Wedge a block anywhere underneath that right or left leg so that you have some support and it's not challenging on your back. Breathe into that internal rotation of your left femur bone. And then lift that knee up. Feet on the ground, just nice windshield wipers. Follow the body trail. What does your body want? My body wants knees into my chest and some rocking.
or maybe a happy baby, but maybe your body wants a block under your pelvis and legs up in the air or feet on the ground. Maybe you want to twist. So just kind of follow the body's wisdom. Everybody's different in how these poses affect you. We all have different bodies. We all have different histories in our bodies. So how the poses affect you today may not be the same as they affected you yesterday. So just give yourself an opportunity to release before Shavasana in the way that's best serving to you. Remember how much you know. Your body knows. So just let your body direct what it needs. And then as you eventually find Shavasana, take your time. You can support underneath your knees if you'd like, or you can be flat. You can do Shavasana however you want to do Shavasana. Make sure you're warm, make sure there's not breezes on you or bright lights on you or things touching you that you don't want touching you. Check in with your body when you get into Shavasana and make sure that your choice is a good one, that you feel good in your body. Adjust anything that needs adjusting, and then settle yourself. Drop into your limbs. Weight yourself down like you're sinking. Let your breath infuse you. Make sure you're relaxing through your skull, the base of your skull, your face, all the small muscles. Let's begin to deepen breath. Invite some movement.
Actually finding your way onto your side. And find your way up to a comfortable seat, taking your time. And let's remember that we never know how our energy is affecting another person. The smallest of gestures, a smile, eye contact, a small little hello, the small things can make a huge difference in spreading good energy. So be mindful of looking for those moments of joy in your day. Accept them from others, give them to others. Let's offer this energy now to someone who needs your optimism, your joy. See if you can send that energy to them. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.